what is patriotism? Is it loyalty to your government, loyalty to the constitution, or loyalty to your nation? And also, a patriotism without honour, without a patriotism that doesn't do what it says it will do, as it would say on the tin, is it worth anything? Does it have any descriptive meaning? Well, it struck me that with the Wikileaks disclosures, that people have criticised Wikileaks for doing what the journalism should be doing in a democracy. Wikileaks was exposing the link between US funding of Saudi Arabia, for instance, and the link between also Al-Qaeda, which I have been saying for many years. Now, I will be doing a series on Wikileaks, so to do it justice. But within a democracy, patriotism should be loyalty to both the concept of democracy, that is, that people, the citizens, are sovereign within a democracy, and within a social democracy, that the welfare system and the welfare state and the benefits of welfare are derived from the citizens and received back to the citizens. Therefore, that when you work, you're storing up wealth within the state and the society to increase the power of the society and decrease the power of the state. Now, although social democracies often have a large state, the actual description of having a 50% tax rate, for instance, means that the welfare state itself is always storing up surpluses for any crisis, financial crisis, and this is something that the Americans just don't have, although they're trying to achieve this. So, as I've done many videos on social democracy, you already know my views on that. I am for a social democracy, but what is patriotism? Patriotism in the American view is loyalty to the Constitution and the ideas and concepts within that Constitution. That's the right to life, liberty and pursuit of happiness. Within the European view, there is also economic rights. So not only do you have the natural rights of life, liberty and pursuit of happiness, but also the economic rights to life, the right to have a property, the right to have a house, the right to have benefits and free healthcare at the point of demand. Now, of course, healthcare is not completely free. It has to be funded through direct taxation, but it is free in the point of demand when you need it. You do not have to have insurance within the European Union to receive healthcare if you're in a certain socio-economic bracket. But it's the loyalty and the attachment to those concepts from which we derive our conception of patriotism. Now, if patriotism means that the government is upholding these views, then we should surely have loyalty to our government. But when the government's behaviour is called into question, as WikiLeaks has shown, then surely we must have a re-evaluation of what is patriotism. Patriotism should mean that we do not want our sons and daughters to be killed in foreign adventures that are maybe unnecessary, such as a war against Iran. Although the WikiLeaks, from what I've read, actually makes the statement for a war against Iran actually more plausible, because if the Iranians are really trying to get nuclear weapons, we don't want that to happen, although that is their sovereign right to have nuclear weapons. Is it just that the West does not want sovereign countries to have sovereignty, and therefore we derive another aspect of patriotism, which means that countries want to have their own sovereignty? But with the European Union, we see nationalism and patriotism being derived through another way, through shared patriotism, shared nationalism, for a common European identity. This is why I had set up a group called pro-European English nationalist levellers, because the levellers were the people who derived a new English constitution during the English Civil War, because they wanted the rights to life, liberty and pursuit of happiness. And many of the levellers' ideas led to the creation of the United States Constitution in 1776. Now, while the Americans can focus back on a clearly derived point in time of 1776 to derive all their patriotism for, many English people do not even know the year that the English Civil War was fought in. But what is clear is that the Lisbon Treaty of Europe is a clear watershed, because it created the Human Rights Act, the right of countries to secede from the European Union if they wish to. All these things are things that we can derive loyalty to the European Union from, and patriotism for the European Union. But we must also have patriotism for our own countries. The European Union is only a middle way between extreme nationalism and extreme globalism, and that's why I support it, because we must have a middle road between these two false abysses of extreme nationalism, which will cause wars, and extreme globalism, which will destroy liberty and equality. We must not have globalism, because one size does not fit all. This criticism has been made of the European Union itself, but one size fits all can be okay within a common European culture and identity, which arguably we do all share. That is, those Western philosophies and ideas that bind the West together. It is even possible that the European Union, together with the United States and Canada, could form an Atlantic Union. And this I would be kind of against, but it does have some advantages. It would firmly cement the unity of the West against any rivals, and it would make the Atlantic our sea. But this is perhaps a step towards globalism, and that's why I'm against it. The European Union, as an alliance with an American-led union between Europe, North America and Canada, would perhaps be a better solution. Although Canada may, as in the past, said it would like to join the European Union. On patriotism, we must say that there's certain things and certain climates in the world perhaps derive patriotism better than others. I've noticed since the snow has been falling that the best in people has been coming out within England, that people have become more helpful, more friendly, and that because there is a common adversity because of the snow, which wasn't really there because of the recession. But people have started to see a common adversity, that all people are suffering because we have bad weather. But this is something, this positive aspect of an emotional attachment to other people, enablingness, is something that I would say is the purest form of nationalism and patriotism. It is a concern for people who are akin to yourself, or just an affirmation of humanitarianism. And that is where I think the purest form of nationalism and patriotism is. Thank you for listening.